Hi, good morning. Yes, it's morning. It's 7:33 a.m. here in Portland, Oregon. Welcome back to Corporate Classy, but please come correct podcast. I am your host, Alberta Thomas, and I am back with another one. I hope you guys have been doing really good out there. I have been juggling life as I feel like my last couple of episodes talk about juggling life, which is great because, I truly believe in life. There are different seasons to madness, to goodness, to I maybe you got to buckle up here, maybe you got to do something else over here. So I truly believe that there are seasons and pivotal moments of just either relaxing, taking a chill pill, or buckling down, focusing on work, entrepreneurship, whatever it may be in the current moment. But I've been doing just that, okay? Working my booty off and going to sleep. But I would say what I really always had on my mind to kind of talk about a little bit more depth into details. I think I talked about it in one of my other episodes, maybe like the first season. I definitely talked about being 33, no kids and things of that nature. But I want to go a little bit deeper with it, right? Because I don't think people understand like the life of being a 33-year-old with no kids. I don't have a husband, and I choose me, right? I choose my career. I choose my growth, my life, and I'm not apologizing for the route that I have taken because let's kind of keep it honest, right? So the milestones that we hit at every single age, we are supposed to be at a certain level, or supposed to be at this. I'm supposed to be married at this point, we should have kids. It's crazy because in my mind, long time ago, back in the day as a kid, I used to vision that myself, like I'm supposed to go in some particular order. And if the order is wacky, then I'm mad at the world because this is not going the way that I expected to go. But that goes back into, look, reality hit and some factual things like the milestones that we are expected to take at certain ages about how you're supposed to live and all of these things. It's literally not intentional living, and we're rushing the decisions that need to be made. So understanding how to balance out intentional living versus rushed decisions, and that was a big one for me that I learned. And let me tell you, being 33, about to be 34, and what, April, May, June, July, 3 months? 3 months, I'm going to be 34 years old. And it's crazy because I feel like the older I get, my bones a little cracky, but for the most part, like my energy, I'm wiser. I am growing. Like I'm actually when I think about it, I'm a grown woman and I do my grown woman shit. In other words. And so it's a beautiful thing to be where I am at 33 years old. Like I couldn't even imagine if you would have asked me this when I was 21, knowing what the heck I was going to do with myself, I could never imagine being in the place that I am right now. But when I sit and I think and I reflect about the goodness, I think about, oh my God, the phases of life that I've been to, and I really haven't had so many like bad experiences, right? I had a lot of lesson learned. I had good times, of course, bad times in there. Of course, I got to pivot, all of the things. But what I really truly adored the most is the amount of goodness I was able to have being 33, not rushing my life, being very intentional with my time, and focusing on myself and my career. Now, granted, before I go a little bit deeper in this, not everybody is going to start their life out this way, right? Somebody else probably want to be young, kids at home, raising them. Look, I'm not knocking where you are and what you want to do. I'm talking about the people who understands the age that I'm in, or who are just trying to figure it out in life, whether it's okay, do I want to go this route? Do I want to take this route? Or hell, do I wing it? But I think it's important to understand what it is that you actually want and really think about how many times, how many of you feel like your timeline looks different than what you grew up being told it should be? Like, really think about that. Because when I think about that sometime in my mind, I'm like, man, yeah, I'm supposed to be in the medical field because I'm always guaranteed to have a job. Is that not true? It's true. But is that for me? Absolutely not. Next, are you going to sell phones for the rest of your life? There is no money there. Huh. That's what you think. Have you been in commission? Have you been in sales? Have you navigated and grew up in a company? Have you had support along the way to get where you are, making triple times the amount of money that the next person can make? Like, so what I'm saying is, if you see something and you want your life to look a certain type of way, you have to go after what it is that you want it to look like. Like, you shouldn't play yourself short because you chose to go a route that someone else chose for you. So that one was big for me. And man, the amount of lessons I learned growing up, but they've been so good to the point of when I reflect, I'm like, man, I surely did have a good time, but I learned this and I won't do this again. I might try this once, but I might not never do this again. It's so many things that could happen and that you can do. And so I want to make sure that I kind of go a little bit deeper and talk about, being 33, no kids, and a career and a choice that I made for myself and the way I stand in just the whole well-being of what I'm doing right now. So I always like to start with the goodness, right? Let's talk about the goodness and the gifts that you receive when you do live your life a certain type of way and you chose to go a different route, right? The freedom of choice. Man, this is a big one for me. The freedom of choice. Like, I had the power to move, shift, grow, create without having to consider anything. Right? I was able to make mistakes and say oops for myself, but not being cautious because I didn't have no one there. I'm just, oh my God, it's just this sense of freedom that you get when you just focusing on you and getting your stuff in order. That's what I enjoyed the most. Like, I can get up, not worried about a thing. Like, let's be clear, like right now, it is what, 7:42 in the morning. Yes, I'm recording a podcast at 7:42 in the morning, and I'm sitting up in my bed. But before I hit play on this podcast, I was able to stretch. I was able to pull one of my amazing Bloom where you're planted affirmation card, and I'll read to you because it's crazy. What I'm talking about today, the card that I pulled is literally tied back to what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna save that to the end so you guys can really hear what the cards say. It is crazy how much it aligns together. But I'm here sitting up, like breathing, decompressing, starting my morning slow because it's me, right? And so another thing that was really good on this journey is the career growth, right? Man, y'all, I've grown so much in my life. I've been with the company that I'm now with for 9 years. Well, August will make 9 years. And I'm just thinking about the very first day I started almost 9 years ago when I was like, ooh, what am I doing here? Why am I selling phones? Can I do this? Like, I didn't know I can sell. Like, I got that what they call it, the gift of gab. I didn't know I could do that. But I had it, and I'm just thinking about the successful journey, the amazing people that has been a part of that with me, and the people who showed me the way. Cause I was a young girl, didn't know what direction I wanted to go, but I know I didn't want to be in the medical field. I'll tell you that. That was not what I wanted to do. So, me being able to just go through that process and understand, like, when I look back, y'all, let me tell you this. From the journey of being a regular sales rep on the front line, when you walk into the door every day, to getting rejected of moving into leadership, but also being placed in other situations so I can grow. Then 6 months, I'm ready, get into leadership. Started off small, small team. Then went to, a little bit more from two to about 5 or 6 employees. Then, that's not enough. You do so good supporting, you got buy-in. Then, all right, I want you to support 40 doors between South Carolina and Georgia. And at that time, we had a couple of doors in Arkansas and Mississippi, supporting 40 doors. Now, let me tell y'all, if you can do a supportive role and gain buy-in, that is a big deal because you can't hold people accountable. It's all about how you say it. Show that you showcase that you care. Because, I did actually care. I enjoyed my job and build that relationship with people that you support. It's a powerful thing when you can get people to buy in to the processes, to you, and you can't even hold them accountable, and you're not their boss. That's how I know I had it. So, and then I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about, all right, I was in a trainer role for a minute, and then it was like, okay, somebody saw something in you. You can do more than that. And now I'm in a space and been in this space for May would be 3 years. I've been in my role. 3 years, I decided to pick up and move my life across the country on the PNW, the Pacific Northwest in Oregon, where I took a leap of faith and came over here and worked my booty off with an amazing leadership team and my frontline folks. Being a supportive role to I now you gotta jump back into that accountability role. I got a team about 70 folks, and they are just some good freaking people. Good people. Now granted, it was bumpy, definitely rocky on the way. But man, when I sit and think about the growth that I've done by me being over here, and I'm thinking about the growth of my team, the growth of the people that I was able to put in position, man, look, I've experienced things that nobody probably ever experienced because they have not put their lives first and be very intentional about the way you want to live. It's a beautiful thing. Like, I cannot knock it. And in this whole transition, that's where that self discovery came in, right? Because when you're comfortable, and I hate to say it, when you're in a very much comfortable environment, you become very content, comfortable. You don't want to expand. And when something happened, somebody is there to help pick up the slack, help you along the way, whatever the case may be. For me, at 31, understand what it felt like not having family, friends, and people close to me to be there when stuff hit the fan, if I need something done, if I just need support. I had to pick up my life and move, and I people that many bad experiences. I've had some tough ones. I plan for worst case scenario. Like, if this is just really bad, I just got to figure it out. But it's kind of like I was able to tap into a higher level of learning together. I was able to think for myself. I was able to make choices for myself. I value me being able to sit up in my bed at 7 a.m. and not worry about nothing. When I say get to that next phase, like you're entering another level of phase, because I didn't have nothing tying me down or holding me back, I was able to tap into another layer at 33 freaking years old. Risk. Like, that's what me being 31 with no kids and no responsibilities did for my life, right? And I talk about that and my emotional maturity. Y'all, this probably gonna sound terrible. And I'm laughing before I even say it. And I'm not knocking where anyone is, right? But I can remember me growing up and I can remember where I was and I can remember how emotional unfit I was. And and it don't look, it don't make it no better. I'm a cancer, right? So we're already emotional people. We cry all the time, but we're not gonna cry in front of everybody, but we're gonna cry in front of the people that matters to us the most. So imagine being a cancer. You always emotional, unfit emotions. Man, when I think about today of the amount of emotional maturity I am now based upon life experiences and some good soul people who taught me some things along the way, it's a beautiful thing to have. Like, I can now picture what my future is going to look like with the relationships that I have because they're healthier and they're not heavy, and I'm able to articulate and I'm able to not come up with a solution first before listening. It's so many things that I have learned from an emotional standpoint, not only with myself but with people that's connected to me and just life in general, of what we see on a regular basis. Yes, sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes you can't control it, but I would tell you for the most part, I am the most healthiest now with my emotional maturity because of the growth that I've been through on this journey. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to see. And just when as I'm talking, some of the things that stands out to me the most as I'm kind of like navigating through this is understanding that, choosing yourself is not selfish, right? It's prepared me to show up fully for the people I will love later. And that's what my life has been doing for me. And understanding that it's okay to be patient. Like, don't rush anything. Like, wait for the right time, wait for the right opportunities, and just live in the moment. Sometimes I catch myself still to this day where I'm thinking 2 to 3 weeks in advance when because I done thought so far ahead, my brain is hurting. I got a headache at this point because I'm trying to plan out the future because that's how I am. But when I really lock in a little bit more and understand, like, wait, what are you doing? Or I have those moments where someone will remind me, like, hey, that's in 3 weeks. Can we focus on today? Wheel me back in, because sometimes it gets like that, especially when you're a planner, solution based person, and you know what you want in life. That's kind of that balance that you have to be able to find, right? And what to do in the waiting season. I remember talking about this before too, is when you're waiting the right time, whether it's a career, relationship, getting married, whatever it is that you're waiting for, have ideas of placing yourself in other situations, right? So for me, I like to travel. I just started a couple of months ago. I enjoy creating clothes, like putting the labels, designs, like weeding through things, like just tapping into a more creative side of me. I'm like, you would be surprised what you can do if you actually get started. Okay. And so invest into yourself. I'm big on that. I invest in me all the time. Um, Deepen the friendships that I have. That's been really good for me. I'm open to new ones too. But I'm gonna be honest, being 30, 33, it's like I'm very, I don't want to say judgmental, but I'm very tight on who I let in my space because I like the few people that I have because they hold me accountable and they keep it real. And so that's another one. Understanding not to rush your life milestones, right? So when you hear people talking about, oh, you gotta have when you're having kids, oh, when you get married, sometimes they got it backwards. They want you to have the kids, then get married. But again, I guess that go back to it don't matter what order, depending on how you see fit, I guess. But for me, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna take it step by step in an order of which we want. And I think that ties back into creating your own blueprint for your life, what you want your life to look like. What is that roadmap? What is that next thing? Do you set milestones? What's your goals? Like who's going to be a part of those goals? What does that look like? I mean, ultimately, what is the end goal is the big thing. Like, what are you working towards? And so all of those things matter. And I want to make sure that I give you guys some of those things that I look at throughout my life that has been really good for me. So, and I also think too, I have a very old soul. It's crazy when I talk to people and I look at my friends group, they're very mature, and I love that because they teach me a lot of lessons when I am a little bit, younger. And so that's why I adore the group that I have, because they taught me a lot of things and still learning along the way. And that's the big thing. And it's crazy because when I anytime I talk to someone who have kids, have other responsibilities that they have to do, maybe navigating life for other people. One thing that they always say, like, oh my God, you got all of this free time. Oh my God, you can do this. Oh my God, nothing is holding you back. Oh my God, I wish I had more time. And I can't speak for the ones who have kids or other responsibilities. That's why I can only speak on my situation and understanding, like I chose to live my life this way, and I understand and value all the time that I have. I understand and value if I want to sit in one place for 5 hours. Like, what am I doing in those 5 hours? Am I being productive? Is this my chill moment where I'm watching TV? Like, every inch of time really does matter to me. And that probably sounds crazy, but I don't like to waste my time at all. And so if I feel like time is wasted, I'm panicking. I probably done popped up an attitude, sorry. But it's like it has to be meaningful and it has to make sense for me. Like, and people always say, like, man, you just keep everybody on their toes. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of what it is. We can chill, but I am gonna also keep you on your toes too, because don't get comfortable. You know what I mean? And so when I think about this for a second, and if anyone is listening right now and you're in your 30s or even in your 20s or older, it could be older. Maybe you're wanting to pass this episode on to someone else so they can listen. But if you're feeling like you're behind, just remember that you're not behind. You're just writing a different story, which is fine. And to be honest, one day is going to be one worth telling. And I don't think people realize that. So, me being able to sit here right now, this is a story that has been created for many, many years. For the last, 20 years, I've been creating a story for myself, for my freaking self, which is a beautiful thing to see because I decided to take control over my life. And don't let the pressure rush you into a life that you're not really ready for. You got to build it on your own terms, and what those terms look like is ultimately up to you. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes your heart feel whole. That's what I would recommend doing. And if this resonates with you, okay, I want you guys to DM me, share with me some stories, subscribe if you want to hear more about my life going through this journey and being able to pick apart what's going to be for you. Subscribe to this podcast and or share it with someone who needs it and understand, like, it's a beautiful thing when you're in this moment and you're just taking a moment, taking a step back and really thinking about how your life has formed and how you've been a part of that and you made that for yourself and you created a name and you're starting a legacy for yourself and for everyone else, right? And so that's a beautiful thing. And I know it's going to be a part two to this. Today, I wanted to spend the bulk of the time just talking about the goodness of being 33, no kids, focusing on career, being very intentional with my time, and understanding that I'm choosing myself is powerful and that I'm able to break down the why I was patient, the growth, the freedom, would be all worth the wait. And I wanted to be able to share that. But On my next episode, I'm going to talk about the opposite, right? The heartburn, the pain that you feel, because I can't give you guys the goodness without giving you the opportunities or that feeling of, hey, I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like this moment, man. It's lonely over here. I want to give you guys that side too, but it would be too much to fit in this episode, right? So I'm going to talk about that on my next episode. So I'm excited to share with you guys. But I would tell you, let me tell you guys this. I wanted to tell you before I go. So remember I said at the top of the call that I pulled a card this morning, and shout out to manifestyourpurpose.com. You guys got to check them out. It's Manifest Your Purpose. They have these bloom where you are planted affirmation cards. Look, I thought I didn't need affirmations. I don't even like when people tell me anything, because it's like, okay, I'm confident. I know I'm good. Like, I feel good. I feel like I look good. I just affirm myself. So I don't need anything additional, but this is why I tell you where sometimes things will, come into perspective for you. I realized, what is it? And what's wrong with adding some additional goodness to your life if you can? And so I started using these cards. It's like 52 of them. And check them out. Again, it's Manifest Your Purpose. And I shuffle the deck and I pull a card. They told me once a week, y'all. I've been pulling a card once a day. But it's okay. It's been really good. And with this episode that I'm talking about, and I pulled this card before recording this episode, but I got my notes and everything jotted down of what I wanted to talk about for a couple of days. But I'm gonna tell you guys what the cards say. It says, I don't have to keep up with anyone because I run my own race. Y'all, don't tell me that this episode wasn't intentionally being done. And this is why I say full alignment will make everything freaking better. I'm going to read that again in case you missed it. I don't have to keep up with anyone because I run my own race. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you for tuning in to Corporate Classy, but please come correct podcast. Until next time, peace.